a lot of us with a self-defense or Krav Maga background, it can be kind of scary entering into the world of sparring for the first time. Especially when you start going up against guys that have done MMA or Muay Thai for a while and are very used to sparring in their regimen of training. Sparring isn't just physically hard, it's mentally and emotionally tough. Some people have a really hard time breaking that barrier of getting comfortable with sparring. Sparring, despite what maybe some of the gym bros might say, should not be you getting your butt kicked from one end of the mat to the other. That's not good. You should always leave one of your sparring sessions having learned something. So today I want to share with you a sparring skill that, at least as of late, has been super helpful to me. Now, does that mean it's going to be the skill that you need to work on right now? Maybe, maybe not. Either way, feel free to give it a try, or maybe you're a coach and you've noticed that this is something that one of your students could use some help with. This is a skill that I've noticed that pretty much every high-level sparrer that I've watched, they all do this. It's a common denominator for all of them. And that specific sparring skill that I want to talk about today, and not just a skill for sparring, but something that would translate into actual fighting, of course, but that skill is volume. And what I mean by volume is how many strikes you are throwing throughout your sparring round. And maybe not even just strikes, but how many times you're going for takedowns or transitional movements or submissions maybe. Where a lot of people suffer when they first start sparring, and I know this from experience, is they suffer from this one shot, two shot syndrome. They're so afraid to get in there that they might take a shot, maybe two, and then they'll immediately back out. Now, I'm not saying you can't throw a one shot or two shot combo, there's nothing wrong with that. But at some point you have to be able to continually flow and move from one strike or transition or takedown or submission, whatever it might be. You want to be able to move into those seamlessly. Some of the best guys I've sparred with will just constantly pepper and throw volume. They're not beating the crap out of me if they're a good partner, of course, but they're keeping me busy. They're keeping me on my toes. They're keeping me backpedaling the whole entire time. And that can really start to take the energy out of you. And if the person you're fighting is losing energy, well, you're probably going to win 9 times out of 10 if you're the one that's keeping the pressure on the whole time. Take the last Max Holloway fight, for example. He threw, it was something like 700 strikes or over 700 strikes throughout the course of the fight. And that performance has been hailed and praised as one of the best performances that people have seen in the octagon for a really long time. While his opponent was throwing just 1 or 2 shot, maybe 3 shot combos, not a lot of volume, Max was just constantly layering on over and over and over again. This goes into that saying a lot of us have heard before, and that's really a lot of times the best defense is a really good offense. If you spar and you're afraid of getting hit and you're tired of feeling like a punching bag or a heavy bag the whole time, throw more strikes. In most situations, not every situation, but if you're the person throwing strikes, typically the other person isn't throwing strikes. They're defending because you're throwing. Therefore, a great way to not get hit is to just hit back. Make your opponent be the person that is constantly defending the whole entire time, and you be the one that's striking. Because if you're striking, you're probably not getting hit. So a great drill to practice this that I've kind of been playing throughout the video, and this is a drill you can do before you start sparring so you can prepare yourself for it each time. And that drill is to basically get a heavy bag, or if you've got a bob, that's great, and set the timer for whatever amount of time you want to start with. If you want to start small, that's fine. It probably will depend on your cardio, but start with at least about 3 minutes, which is about a typical sparring round you might see at a gym. And for that whole entire 3 minutes, strike the whole entire time. Or not just strike, but be striking and moving and transitioning for that whole entire 3 minutes. You should never be standing still, ever. Now, you don't need to go super fast. In fact, I would suggest that you actually do start kind of slow and smooth. Think about, after a strike, okay, where is my body set up for the next strike? How can I use body mechanics to then move into my next strike, or footwork, or head work, or into another position. Don't be afraid to make mistakes during this drill. If you've been watching this video, you've probably already seen me do a couple goofy or stupid looking moves. That's okay. In sparring or a real fight, you're gonna do stupid things. Your balance might get thrown off. You might throw a strike at the worst time possible, and you need to be able to recover from it. Plus, the point of this drill is also to just have some fun. Try some stuff you normally wouldn't do. Throw a spinning wheel kick for the heck of it from an angle that maybe you've never tried before. Go for it. As you start doing this repeatedly over and over and over again, our hope is that we start to enter kind of this flow state where we're just constantly moving, hitting, moving our feet, moving our head, and that we never really stop. It's almost one continuous combo for the whole entire round. As you get better, go ahead and increase the time of your round. Try and do it for 5 minutes straight, where you just never stop. If you can get to it, go for 10 minutes. You don't need to destroy the bag and go as hard as you can for the 10 minutes. In fact, I would suggest that you don't. Work through those movements. Make sure that you're breathing the whole time on each strike, and you're thinking too. You're thinking about that next step. Then once you spar, hopefully this will start to translate over into that live scenario. And I promise you, you're gonna see big advancements in your sparring abilities. All right, everyone, that's it for today. Go ahead, give this a try. Let me know how it goes. Leave your comments down below, shoot me a message. Find me on Instagram in the description and shoot me a DM on there. I'd love to hear if this skill really does help you with your sparring. I know that it's helped me with mine quite a bit. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on any future videos. This is Jordan with Be Ready Self-Defense. Train perfectly, fight ferociously, and be ready.